My dad showed up to my graduation in handcuffs. Graduation day was supposed to be perfect. I had pictured this moment in my head for years, stepping onto the stage, hearing my name echo across the gym, and seeing my family cheering proudly in the crowd. My mom was there, my grandparents, even my younger cousins dressed up for the occasion. But the one person I kept searching for, even though I told myself not to, was my dad. The last time I heard anything about him, he wasn't doing well. He'd made a lot of bad decisions, pushed people away, and seemed to disappear from my life entirely. I told myself not to get my hopes up, but deep down, I wanted him to be there at least once. The ceremony began with names being called one after another. I could feel my stomach tighten as the alphabet drew closer to mine. I had one hand on the rail, ready to walk, when a sudden commotion erupted near the back doors. It was my dad, but he wasn't just walking in quietly like a late parent trying to catch the ceremony. He was being escorted by two uniformed police officers. His wrists were locked together in silver handcuffs that glinted in the gym lights with every step he took. I heard whispers. "Is that her dad? What's he doing here?" While I stood motionless. My name just seconds from being called. The announcer stuttered. The principal looked toward the officers, unsure of what to do. I could feel my heartbeat pounding in my ears as the officers stopped near the front row. Even in handcuffs, he was still my dad, and I'll never forget the way he looked at me that day. Then one of them glanced straight at me and loud enough for the whole gym to hear said, "He's not here to cause trouble, he's here for you." Every head turned toward me. My name echoed through the speakers, but I couldn't move. All I could do was stare at my dad, the man I hadn't seen in months, standing there in chains as the entire gym waited for what would happen next. And that's when the officer leaned toward the principal and said something that made my stomach drop. The officer's voice carried across the silent gym as he told the principal, "He has permission to watch his daughter walk the stage." The whispers started immediately, rippling through every row like a wave. The officers led my dad to a chair in the very front, just feet from the stage. I felt every pair of eyes shift between him and me as the principal signaled for the ceremony to continue. Then I heard my name. I took a deep breath and started walking, but every step felt heavier, like my legs were moving through cement. The gym was so quiet that I could hear my own heartbeat. My classmates had gotten cheers, claps, and even whistles. But me? It felt like the entire room was holding its breath, waiting to see what I would do. When I reached the middle of the stage, I finally looked toward the front row. My dad was sitting there, his face streaked with tears, mouthing the words, "I'm proud of you." He wasn't ashamed and he wasn't embarrassed. His eyes weren't filled with guilt or fear. They were filled with love, the kind that cuts through everything else. And in that moment, nothing else mattered. Not the whispers, not the stares, not the fact that half the gym was probably recording this to post online later. All I saw was my dad, the same man who once cheered at my soccer games, helped me through math problems, and told me I could do anything, even when he couldn't get his own life together. I smiled back at him just for a second as I grabbed my diploma. It wasn't big or flashy, but I saw his shoulders relax as if that single smile told him everything he needed to know, that I still cared, even after everything. The ceremony continued, and as I stepped off the stage, the officers stood and gestured for him to leave. He didn't argue or resist. He just turned back one last time, gave me a faint smile through his tears, and let them lead him out without saying a word. I stood there clutching my diploma, my heart heavy but somehow at peace. Yes, people would talk. Yes, it was awkward and embarrassing. But that day I realized something. People can make the worst mistakes, ones that tear families apart and leave scars that don't heal easily. But sometimes even those same people still love you more than anyone else ever could. And no matter what chains were on his wrists, he showed up for me. They'll remember the whispers, the handcuffs, the stares, but I'll remember the man who, despite everything, fought to be there for me. And no matter what anyone thinks, I'll always be proud he's my dad.